My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Hello, I'm Willie from the Ozarks, and we're ready for lesson 141 in A Course in Miracles workbook for students. We're reading from the original edition here on Sunday, May the 21st of 2023. Now we review again, review number 4. Now we review again, this time aware we are preparing for the second part of learning how the truth can be applied. Today we will begin to concentrate on readiness for what will follow next. Such is our aim for this review and for the lessons following. Thus we review the recent lessons and their central thoughts in such a way as will facilitate the readiness which we would now achieve. There is a central theme that unifies each step in the review we undertake, which can be simply stated in these words: my mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. This is a fact and represents the truth of what you are and what your Father is. It is this thought by which the Father gave creation to the Son, establishing the Son as co-creator with Himself. It is this thought which fully guaranteed salvation to the Son. For in His mind no thoughts can dwell but those His Father shares. Lack of forgiveness blocks this thought from His awareness, yet it is forever true. Let us begin our preparation with some understanding of the many forms in which the lack of true forgiveness may be carefully concealed. Because they are illusions, they are not perceived to be what they are. Defenses which protect your unforgiving thoughts from being seen and recognized. Their purpose is to show you something else and hold correction off through self-deceptions made to take its place. And yet your mind holds only what you think with God. Your self-deceptions cannot take the place of truth, no more than can a child who throws a stick into the ocean change the coming and the going of the tides, the warming of the water by the sun, the silver of the moon on it by night. So do we start each practice period in this review with readying our minds to understand the lessons that we read and see the meaning which they offer us. Begin each day with time devoted to the preparation of your mind to learn what each idea you will review that day can offer you in freedom and in peace. Open your mind and clear it of all thoughts that would deceive, and let this thought alone engage it fully and remove the rest. My mind holds only what I think with God. 5 minutes with this thought will be enough to set the day along the lines which God appointed and to place His mind in charge of all the thoughts you will receive that day. They will not come from you alone, for they will all be shared with Him. And so each one will bring the message of His love to you, returning messages of yours to Him. So will communion with the Lord of hosts be yours, as He Himself has willed it be. And as His own completion joins with Him, so will He join with you who are complete, as you unite with Him and He with you. After your preparation, merely read each of the 2 ideas assigned to you to be reviewed that day. Today being, forgiveness is the key to happiness, and forgiveness offers everything I want, to be said with, my mind holds only what I think with God. So after your preparation, merely read each of the 2 ideas assigned to you to be reviewed that day. Then close your eyes and say them slowly to yourself. There is no hurry now. There is no hurry now. For you are using time for its intended purpose. Let each word shine with the meaning God has given it, as it was given to you through His voice. Let each idea that you review that day give you the gift which He has laid in it for you to have of Him. And we will use no format for our practicing but this. Each hour of the day bring to your mind the thought with which the day began and spend a quiet moment with it. Then repeat the 2 ideas you practiced for the day unhurriedly, with time enough to see the gifts which they contain for you, and let them be received where they were meant to be. We add no other thoughts, but let them be the messages they are. We need no more than this to give us happiness and rest and endless quiet, perfect certainty, and all our Father wills that we receive as the inheritance we have of Him. Each day of practicing as we review, we close as we began, repeating first the thought that made the day a special time of blessing and of happiness for us, and through our faithfulness restored the world from darkness to the light, from grief to joy, from pain to peace, from sin to holiness. God offers thanks to you who practice thus and keep the keeping of His word. God offers thanks to you who practice thus the keeping of His word. And as you give your mind to the ideas for the day again before you sleep, His gratitude surrounds you in the peace wherein He wills you be forever, and are learning now to claim again as your inheritance. So you're going to start your day with the 5 minutes in the morning, and then again at 5 minutes at night, by saying, my mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God, and kind of settle into that realization. And after you've taken a moment or so to settle into that, then tell yourself the 2 associated ideas for the day. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Let's look at the idea again. 5 minutes with this thought. My mind holds only what I think with God. In paragraph 9 of the review, 5 minutes with this thought will be enough to set the day along the lines which God appointed, and to place His mind in charge of all the thoughts you will receive that day. They will not come from you alone, for they will be shared with Him. And so each one will bring the message of His love to you, returning messages of yours to Him. So will communion with the Lord of hosts be yours, as He Himself has willed it be. And as His own completion joins with Him, so will He join with you who are complete, as you unite with Him and He with you. After your preparation, merely read each of the 2 ideas assigned to you to be reviewed that day. Then close your eyes and say them slowly to yourself. There is no hurry now, for you're using time for its intended purpose. So we're going to take our 5 minutes with the idea, my mind holds only what I think with God. And then at the end of that, just take another little bit of time to say the 2 ideas for the day. Forgiveness today being forgiveness is the key to happiness. And forgiveness offers everything I want. And know that you're doing what time was intended to do. And just settle into that idea. And then throughout the day, every hour of the day, bring it to your memory. And tell yourself, my mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want, is what you'll say today. Tomorrow, it'll be the next 2 lessons of review. Today's lessons of review was lesson 121 and 122. And we're going to review for the next, 10 lessons? We'll review the last 20 lessons. Okay, let's go take a look at our text reading for today. And we're ready for chapter 15, the purpose of time, the holy instant, and special relationships. And as you're turning there, let me tell you about what on earth is going on. It's American Red Cross Founders Day, and the founder of is usually considered Clara Barton, who really added to what Henry Dumont started in 1863. Clara Barton started her augmented version of the Red Cross in 1881. And it's where, we begin to help everybody that needed help, not just on one side or the other. End of the world or Rapture Party Day. I need a patch for that day. International Tea Day. National Memo Day. And the word memo is a Latin word coming from memorandum, which means it must be remembered. We want to have a memorandum of our lesson today, which is, my mind holds only what I think with God. Might make a sticky note for it. National Strawberry and Cream Day. National Waiter and Waitress Day. Ride a Unicycle Day. Can you ride a unicycle? Might try. Sister Maria Hummel Day, who was a German Franciscan sister artist, was born May 21st, 1901 and died November 6, 1946. Stepmother's Day. For all you stepmothers, happy Stepmother's Day. It's the Sunday after Mother's Day. World Baking Day. World Day for Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development, which is a United Nations sanctioned observance. World Day for Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development. And let's talk a little bit about the tea plant. I looked a little into it, and it's an evergreen broadleaf perennial, and it'll start bearing at 3 to 4 years old a little bit, but it can live to be decades, even centuries old. Its Latin name is Camellia, and its species is sinensis. It grows in zones 7 through 9. Its growing season best temperature is 18 to 30 degrees centigrades, which is 64 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. But it can withstand down to 16 below zero, up to 40 degrees centigrades. Or is it 16? No, 3 degrees Fahrenheit up to 104 degrees. So yeah, 16 degrees centigrade to 40 degrees centigrade, which is 3 degrees Fahrenheit up to 104, which is zone 7, 8, and 9. And it's been cultivated in China for at least 6,000 years. It's an evergreen bush, like I said. To make tea, there's 4 different types of tea. They all start from the same plant, but the way they process is different. The first step in all their processes is to basically begin to dry the leaves. And then if you're going to make green tea, you steam the dried leaves and then dry them again. If you're going to make white tea, it's similar but picked at a younger age when the buds are young and tender. Then if you're going to make black tea, you take those dried leaves and you cut them up and you oxidize them by adding moisture and then dry them again. And then and that turns them black. And if you want oolong tea, it's the same as the black tea but does not oxidize as long. And I found that all on Narada.com, which is a tea company. So Camellia sinensis is your typical tea. All right, let's take a look at the holy instant and special relationships. The holy instant is the Holy Spirit's most useful learning device for teaching you love's meaning. For its purpose is to suspend judgment entirely. Judgment always rests on the past, for past experience is the basis on which you judge. Judgment becomes impossible without the past, for without it you do not understand anything. And that's where we started our lesson in lesson 1. I do not understand anything I see in this place. You would make no attempt to judge because it would be quite apparent to you that you do not know what anything means. You are afraid of this because you believe that without the ego, all would be chaos. Yet I assure you that without the ego, all would be love. 46. The past is the ego's chief learning device, for it is in the past that you learn to define your own needs and acquire methods for meeting them on your own terms. We said before that to limit love to part of the sonship is to bring guilt into your relationships and thus make them unreal. So let me read that again a little different. We said before that to limit love to part of the sonship is to bring guilt into your relationships and thus to make your relationships unreal. If you seek to separate out certain aspects of the totality and look to them to meet your imagined needs, you're attempting to use separation to save you. How then could guilt not enter? For separation is the source of guilt, and to appeal to it for salvation is to believe you are alone. To be alone is to be guilty, for to experience yourself as alone is to deny the oneness of the Father and His Son, and thus attack reality. 47. You cannot love parts of reality and understand what love means. If you would love unlike to God, who knows no special love, how can you understand it? To believe that special relationships with special love can offer you salvation is the belief that separation is salvation. For it is the complete equality of the atonement in which salvation lies. How can you decide that special aspects of the sonship can give you more than others? The past has taught you this, yet the holy instant teaches you it is not so. The holy instant in the present moment. 48. Because of guilt, all special relationships have some elements of fear in them. And this is why they shift and change so frequently. They are not based on changeless love alone. And love where fear has entered cannot be depended on because it is not perfect. In His function as interpreter of what you have made, the Holy Spirit uses special relationships which you have chosen to support the ego as a learning experience which points to truth. Under His teaching, every relationship becomes a lesson in love. We want to follow the Holy Spirit's lesson in love. 49. The Holy Spirit knows no one is special, yet He also perceives that you have made special relationships which He would purify and not let you destroy. However unholy the reason why you made them may be, He can translate them into holiness by removing as much fear as you will let Him. As much fear as you will let Him remove, He'll do it. You can place any relationship under His care and be sure that it will not result in pain if you offer Him your willingness to have it serve no need but His. All the guilt in it arises from your use of it, all the love from His. Do not then be afraid to let go your imagined needs, which would destroy the relationship. Your only need is His. Any relationship which you would substitute for another has not been offered to the Holy Spirit for His use. There is no substitute for love. If you would attempt to substitute one aspect of love for another, you have placed less value on one and more on the other. You have not only separated them, but you have also judged against both. Yet you have judged against yourself first, and you would never have imagined that you needed them as they were not. Unless you have seen yourself as without love, you could not have judged them so like you in lack. The ego's use of relationships is so fragmented that it frequently goes even further. One part of one aspect suits its purposes, while it prefers different parts of another aspect. Thus does it assemble reality to its own capricious liking, offering for your seeking a picture whose likeness does not exist. For there is nothing in heaven or earth that it resembles, and so however much you seek for its reality, you cannot find it because it is not real. 52. I think we'll stop on this paragraph today. Everyone on earth has formed special relationships, and although this is not so in heaven, the Holy Spirit knows how to bring a touch of heaven to them here. The Holy Spirit knows how to bring a touch of heaven to your special relationships. We've all formed them here on this earth. Like my teacher used to say, Charlie, he'd say, in order to manifest a body on any level, you have to have a little delusion. In the holy instant, no one is special, for your personal needs intrude on no one to make them different. Without the values from the past, you would see them all the same and like yourself, nor would you see any separation between yourself and them. In the holy instant, you see in each relationship what it will be when you perceive only the present. God knows you now. That'll be our next paragraph beginning in paragraph 53. God knows you now. Let me mark that where we stopped today. And it's pretty loud out here in downtown Springfield with people mowing and people driving by. But let's see if we can sing our song to close. Let me listen to it once if I can even hear it. Okay, I think I'm ready. My mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. My mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. My mind holds only what I think with God. And you know, I wanted to share something. We got just a little bit of time. I want to share you one more thing with you. And I like us to read the book as much as possible. Yeah, you can listen to just me read it. You'll get a lot. But let me encourage you to go back and read it over and over and over. I've been doing it now for, I think, 30 years. And I'm finding every time I read it, I get more out of it. It's like it's written on this level of consciousness that's so beyond what I think and what most of us think as humans with the operating system that we've been given, which has a lot of fallacies in it. We can't get it all. And I don't find it necessary to do a lot of explaining. I just think we need to do a lot of reading it over and over until it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. And it's like every time that you get to a new level of understanding, other ideas in the book open up and you can understand them. That's why I encourage people just to read it over and over. It's a whole sadhana, you know, a whole method of practice for awakening. Sadhana being a yoga term, which is a spiritual practice, and I consider what Jesus is doing with the Course in Miracles is more a jnana yoga, and with aspects of Raja yoga, meditation yoga, and the yoga of knowledge. So yeah, and of course he adds all the different types of yoga to it, in the sense that you're going to be doing other practices too, like karma yoga, doing good to your neighbors by seeing them as holy. Anyway, my mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Thank you all so much for joining me today. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want.